Hey everyone, welcome back to the 12th Man Show. Our guest for today's episode represents a completely different dimension of football. He has represented India at the Open World Championships in 2018, has had his name displayed on the Old Trafford perimeter boards, and is currently sponsored by New Balance Football. Please welcome to the show, for the first time, one of India's top three freestylers, Akshay Yadav. Welcome to the show, Akshay.
Thanks for having me, man.
And
That
the
was
crowd
a
goes
really
wild.
amazing. That was a really amazing introduction. I don't remember the last time someone introduced me so well because every
Thank
time
you
I
so
did a
much.
show, every time someone like if I'm doing a show with some host or MC, they just say
Yeah.
there's a freestyler coming up. They're like, oh, we don't have time. Let's just go on stage, just go. But this was the first time, maybe the longest time I remember actually. That was really nice. Thank you.
No, I mean you have to introduce your guest well because once you start, so you start off from the back, right? You say okay, completely different dimension of football, so the fans get intrigued.
I know.
They're like, okay,
Yeah.
what is he talking about? Is it a coach?
Yeah.
Is it a journalist? And then suddenly freestyler, everyone loses their shit. Okay,
Like, right. Thank you.
And the other thing is that I sort of feel is that football freestyle culture is so big in Europe, and it's just sort of out of I mean for me personally out of nowhere it's just picked up in India
Right.
over the last
It's-
2-3 years.
2-3 years, right? So I've been
Yeah.
in the scene for a decade now, surprisingly.
Wow.
Like,
Wow.
so I'm what? I'm 25 now. Just by the way, I'm 25. And I started when I was too young. Like when I was in school, I was like in 10th standard or something. I started freestyling back in that time. I had no idea this is something so huge anywhere in the world. I just saw one video and it just happened to be like, oh, this is cool. This is something really fascinating because you don't need a whole team, right?
Yeah, you just
like,
need
what you see on the
yourself
ground.
to have fun.
Yeah. I was like, and the time when I started, it's now when football is growing in India. The
Yeah.
time when I started 10 years back, it was all about cricket. It was all
Yeah,
about
exactly.
cricket. You won't believe there's this whole ground for football, but 100%
People use
of
it
the
for
time people are
cricket,
just playing
yeah.
cricket. Can you believe that? It's not even the whole circle, right? It's just a straight ground like for the stadium. People use it as a cricket ground.
But the good thing is that more football grounds are opening up now for 5-a-side, 6-a-side.
Luckily.
And that's just
So
been the case over the last, I think, 5 years, where people have,
5 years,
sort
yes.
of just
Yes.
after the 2014 World Cup, I think around that time,
Right.
football just had this huge uptick, and
Uptick.
people have just been
Definitely.
crazy after the
Definitely.
sport.
Definitely. So imagine I started freestyling when there was not even football in the scene.
Yeah.
So it was
It's
such a tough
cricket,
time for me.
football, and then freestyle down there.
The freestyle is somewhere underground, like it's lost. Like till date, people don't even know what the thing I do. They just say football stunts, football tricks. They don't even know the term actually. So the whole aim is just being like, let the people know that this is actually a thing, other than just being like, oh, he just does some trick, because it's a damn serious business. You know what I mean? A person like me just put like 5 hours straight every day, sweat, blood, everything what they have to do, just put it in, just to get a little recognition of anything that we do. And then people just come and like, oh, he's just kicking football around. So it's a tough journey. It's a tough
I'm sure people will, I think a lot of people already have started appreciating the art, but soon I think
It is,
a lot of
yeah.
people will follow
I've
suit.
seen a lot of change over a year, I think, where people just reach out to me and other freestylers also, where they are so fascinated with this whole thing.
Yeah.
Realizing how compact this whole talent is. Like, you don't need a lot of stuff. You don't need people. You just, all you need is a football. That's a whole tagline that says like, all you need is a football. And if you have football, that's it. You don't need anything actually. And that's the best part about freestyle, I think.
So, just to start right from the early days, did you like play football, or did you just watch this video from possibly a freestyler and you're like, leave the sport aside, I'm gonna do a couple of around the worlds, do some juggles? and that sort
Right.
of thing.
So I think I was in class 8. I think I was in class 8, and that's when I was like totally. With all due respect, I saw people playing cricket, but I never liked cricket. That's
Okay.
my personal choice. I'm sorry, but
Okay.
I never liked cricket. But I was very fascinated with this whole thing of football. I always felt like playing football is like a cool thing.
Yeah.
It's a cool thing. Period. There's no chance you can't argue with anyone.
And
If you're a
that too
football
in
player, it's a cool
Bombay.
thing. That
Football
in
is,
Bombay, and I
yeah.
was like, yeah, I was like, okay, this is something I want to try. So I bought a football, and I just started playing just randomly. I used to wear jeans and I used to play football. And then there's one of my friend who is still my friend, a very good friend named Kalpit,
Yeah.
happened to push me. I was too young for that time. I was like, what, 14, 15, but he used to just pick me up. He's like, you know what, we go and play football. So that guy just actually took me to the ground for real. Like, he used to push me. A lot of times I said no. He like, I don't care. You have to come. So that's how I started getting into football. Then I played for my school team for the longest time I remember, till 10th standard, I think. And then my coach kicked me out.
So
So
that's when
actually one more story. Yeah, that's
That's
when the
when you
whole
picked up.
freestyler came out of me. And then, yeah, so I played football for like a couple of years. I played football. I wouldn't say I was like the best player, but I was not too bad. I was like an average player.
but
then I
definitely
was
one of the
always into
best
freestyle.
freestylers.
Probably that's over like a decade. But uh, because even when I used to play football, I was so into doing tricks and doing those rainbow that people know it now. I used to try all that while on the ground, which doesn't make
Probably
sense
in
to other players.
hindsight,
Yeah.
in hindsight,
Yeah,
probably
I
why you
was
got
somewhere
kicked
always
out from the
attractive.
team.
I was always because one of the reason maybe I got kicked out is because I was too much into shosha when playing the real game.
Showboating.
Yeah.
But no,
So that was like,
showboating-
okay, this is what it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is what it takes. Let me just get into it. So yeah.
So,
So that's how it
I mean, you've had a pretty interesting journey. I mean, I saw your website yesterday, akshayfreestyler.com, if anyone wants to check it out and see just the amount of brands he's worked with. Uh, we've seen you work with, so many big brands, movie stars. So, how did that happen? I mean, of course, like you said, it took a lot of blood, sweat, and tears through the years.
Right.
But when was that first breakthrough that okay, I'm sort of people are recognizing my art now?
Right. I think it happened in 2014 because that's when the whole serious game started.
Okay.
That was the first year of ISL, if you remember.
Oh yeah.
2014 was the first year of ISL, and it turned out to be a biggest turn of my life and other freestylers' life because you start getting so many commercials and people want you in their some kind of branding or anything that has to do, because there was so much branding for the
Required,
ISL.
yeah.
It was like a festival, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a festival. So the first shoot I ever did was the promo ad of the first shoot I ever did, like a proper football oriented, was the ISL promo league where there was Sachin Tendulkar, Ganguly, John Abraham, Del Piero,
Wow.
all the major brand owners and the players and everything. So I got like 2 seconds in that whole
Clip.
Commercial clip.
Yeah.
Just the 2 seconds, and then I'm just like in a silhouette in the dark side. But it actually changed me a lot because from that commercial I got so many other commercials. Then that's where I feel like, okay, this is something very
You can
so
sort
I
of
think ISL
pivot
played
towards yeah.
yeah. So I think ISL played like a huge part in this.
That's great.
I think.
So like India, first off in sports, there's definitely cricket, and if you want to sort of become a professional sports person, then the sort of assumption is that you'll be heading towards cricket. Now it's football as well, but back
Football.
in the day. But there's also there's so much emphasis on studies, become an engineer, and everything.
Right.
So I mean, freestyler is. I mean, it's not even out of the equation. It's an afterthought.
It's there, but it's not there.
Yeah.
It's there, but it's not there. Yeah.
So, what I want to ask you is, did your parents sort of support you on your journey, or was it just this is my passion, I want to do it, and you had to sort of convince them?
Oh my god! Like I think my mom and dad have just been super supportive, including my brother.
Okay.
My brother doesn't speak much about my work, but he's low-key very happy. Like, what I'm doing, he's like, yeah, that's my brother. Like, that's very cool. But he'll never come and say that, what, your video was nice, this picture was amazing, you did this with this person, it was cool. He'll never be happy. He's that one person I can't impress, my brother. Other than that, if you talk about my parents supporting the whole thing, I think even when I played football, they were super supportive. They were just like, okay, you do what you want, but at the same time, you study. Just keep a good balance. We live in a country where if you're not studying, you're not counted as a human being at first place. Like, you have to be in your you have to hold a degree and then speak to people, then I can represent you or anything. But that happened till football, okay? And then over a year I tried freestyling. I think it was 2012 when I happened to be like the third national champion, third ranked champion in national officially.
Yeah.
So that time I think I was 17, and that's when the whole thing started in my family where, oh, he's into some serious business, he's getting trophies. I see him in newspapers, I see him, news people recording him and stuff. I see him on TV and stuff. That means he's into some serious. That's when they saw. So what I've realized over the time is, only when you give something to your parents in return, that's the time they will legit support you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The whole hustle, I think, in India, people do support, parents do support. I don't know why there's a stereotype of people just be like, oh no, ye doctor hi banega, ye engineer hi banega and all that. But I think
provided you show the results, you get the support.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That, I get so many messages that my family don't support me. I was like, even my family don't support me. They have never said, take this 1 lakh rupees, go to abroad and, represent and come back with a trophy. Nothing. I remember my dad gifted me my freestyle and football shoes after I became third champion, ranked third in India. So I realized that you need to give something in return to get a lot of value. You just can't expect to do something without discipline and just expect your family to support you. The hustle of a year and 6 months, 7 months to get little success, because who will support you? Come on. For example, if I just keep saying I'm kicking football around, they will never take me seriously unless I don't get a trophy home, unless I don't show them I'm in newspaper, unless I don't show them I'm in TV.
Some tangible results that you're making progress.
Has to be that. Has to be that. And I say this to everyone.
That passion area. Yeah.
I say this to everyone because a lot of people just expect a lot of support without they giving anything in return. I say don't do that. Don't expect. You have to be a hustler of your own journey, and you have to create something like, oh, he's up to something. Even, in fact, just not freestylers, even like a gamer or football player or cricket player or dancer. Unless you don't achieve, don't expect from anyone to support you. That's all I'm saying. So I think that's been the same thing. But they have always supported, but I've seen a major support after I've returned something in, I've done something for them. So yeah, that's
So how's the sort of freestyle scene like now in the country? Have you collaborated with one other freestyler I know is Sabarish. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name correctly.
Yeah, Sabrish.
Yeah.
So he Sabrish does is more like a ground move.
Yeah, panas and
ground
everything.
Move. Yeah. Panas. Yeah. So that's completely a different sport also. It's not freestyle, but it's like a family. Like football, ground moves, freestyle, pana, and all these. They are like a part of the same family, but they are like different. So speaking about how the scene has been in Bombay or India overall, it's not even funny because I started freestyling back in 2010, and the first time I ever met freestylers was on Carter Road in Bandra. I met 6 freestylers. That was the whole scene, I think, in Bombay. And you could count freestylers from different cities on your hand. 5 freestylers from Mumbai, 2 freestylers from Delhi, 2 freestylers from Chennai, 1 freestyler from Bangalore, 1 freestyler from Pune. So overall, if I see, I'll say 25 people. Legit 25 people of the whole family all over India. I'm sorry if I'm missing out some different city because I don't know. So I remember there were like 25 people all over. It was 2010. Now when I see freestylers just doing one meet in Bombay, it's more than 35-40 people just from Bombay. And legit good freestylers. They are good at what they do. They put 3 hours, 4 hours every day. They train constantly. They make content. They're trying to be professional as they can be. So it's amazing. If you see overall count of India, must be like what 200 and 250. Lot of people I don't even know. So it must be 300 people. So from 20 people to 300 people, it's been like a huge journey. So it's the scene growing. I think every 2 days I get a message that say, "Oh, I'm starting freestyling." I don't know what that guy is doing, but I get a message from people like, "I'm starting freestyling." I think it's amazing because I remember I used to look for people on Facebook to be like, "Do you freestyle? Can you send me a video?" You know,
And then now
it's just
people
like,
are
yeah,
reaching out.
yeah, reaching
I
out.
mean,
So it's amazing.
for the life of me, the best thing I can do is juggle. I can't do anything else.
Oh, you can? I'll teach you. Next time we get on a Zoom call, I'll teach you some few tricks. So we
For
can
sure.
add it in your promo. On the
For
12th
sure,
man
for
promo,
sure.
you're juggling.
Maybe even I can have one of those pictures that you had with no cars in the background and you just jumping around.
Oh yeah, you're just jumping around. We can definitely do that.
But that was a lit picture. I liked it, by the way.
Thank you.
No people and no cars. I don't
Yeah.
remember the caption exactly. The good thing, no people, no cars.
The best thing about
Yeah.
Mumbai is there are no cars and no people around. And the worst thing about Mumbai
Worst
is
thing,
no
right?
people, no background.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you from Mumbai? Are you from Mumbai?
No, I'm from Ahmedabad.
Ahmedabad. Oh, okay. So you've been to Bombay, right? Quite often.
Yeah, multiple times.
I believe. Multiple times, right? So you see how the chaos is in Bombay, right? Nobody has time for anyone. Right? It's just
It's a
running
busy
around the
place.
world.
Yeah. So
Yeah, it's a busy place.
uh, you said a lot of people, message you now that they're starting off on their freestyle journeys. So how do you exactly become a freestyler? Because from what I understand, it's all about the content you create and the frequency with which you can create the content and just you know doing the right things. It's a mixture of a lot of things. Having quality videos, posting them regularly, showing your audience, multiple different things, or just the same thing in different ways. So, what's sort of your advice or suggestion to people who are starting off?
Huh. So this actually took me a while to understand this question over the year because I always felt like if I am doing a show and if I can perform and if I can make little money out of it, I think I'm a professional football freestyler in India. That was my knowledge for almost for 5 years back. 5 years back, that was my knowledge. Then I realized just the tricks are not enough to be a professional freestyler. You can be a freestyler, you know. You can always be a freestyler, but to add the professional in your football freestyle, it takes a lot. Like the back end work is too much. From how you present yourself, how you speak, if you go on stage, how do you interact with the audience, what kind of content do you put, how consistent are you, what kind of quality of content do you put, what kind of brands do you work with, and how do you interact with people. Moreover, you have to be a people person.
Yeah.
You just can't kick football and just expect you to call yourself a football freestyler. You can't just put it in a bio and say that, I'm a football freestyler, professional football freestyler. You have to invest money in, you just have to maintain, like you have to treat yourself like a brand, from making your website to putting money in the content, the kind of cameras you need to invest on, anything that it takes. You can't expect yourself to be a professional. No one will take you seriously, is what I've realized. Because 5 years back, I had nothing. And that's when I realized that just doing freestyle will not make me a professional freestyler. Maybe it takes a lot other than just doing tricks.
Yeah.
You do tricks. People realize that you are skillful, you're talented. But how do you present your talent is one thing, and then how do you do it on stage? How do you talk to people? How do you create content is like, it revolves all around. You just can't do one thing. It's what I believe. So I think anyone who asks me how to be a professional freestyler, it all has to be everything together, what I mentioned.
So how do you? So you said all these things you have to sort of take care of. What would be sort of the first step? What would be the going from 0 to 1, just taking that first step?
0 to 1.
Yeah.
If I tell you 0 to 1 is, your 0 is you have to be a good freestyle first itself. You just can't do 2 juggles, 1 around the world and call yourself a freestyle.
Yeah, definitely.
So 0 itself is the base, is like you need to have a talent, like a skill. Something that you do, something you can do a 10-minute show, a 5-minute show. very skillful, very entertaining. Once you do that, once you know you can go do a 5 minute show, you can create a content, you have that kind of skill that you can put it in the video. It doesn't matter even if it's not new, it's not fresh. But if you have that, that's the first step. That's like a zero of your 100%. The second step, I think you have to present yourself in a way where, so there are two ways also. First is, how do you take football freestyle as?
Yeah.
If you take it as an art, you represent as an art. If you take it as a sport, you represent as a sport.
Yeah.
So, it's a bit complicated because I call myself artistic athlete. Because I'm not an athlete. I don't wake up at 5 a.m. in the morning and go on the tracks and run. I have a normal life. But at the same time, I'm an athlete because the kind of stuff I do. At the same time, it's more like an art other than just calling myself I'm like an athlete who's just like, with all these good body. And of course, you can have it.
Yeah.
But I would like to take it in an art form more than doing a sport thing. But when you say art, you can connect to anything. When you say sport, it restricts to a lot of stuff. I can just dance on a music and just freestyle. That's an art.
Yeah.
But I can't do that when I call it as a sport, coming in a shorts and stockings and good football boots. And that won't really make a lot of sense. So I think that's the whole thing. Okay. You have to come up with how you take it as, and then you shape it in a way. You do a 25% of content, 25% of your skills, 25% of your interaction with your audience and everything. So that's how it works, I think. That's really the first basic step.
You guys understand the amount of work it takes to, just get the ball rolling. No pun intended. So
I got that.
So you've had quite the journey. Would you call your name and pictures being displayed on Old Trafford's perimeter board the highlight, or what was the feeling like? How did that happen?
Oh my god, I don't know. I can't even dream about something like this, to be honest. I don't know. Can you dream of something like this? It's a huge thing, right?
Theater of dreams.
It's a deal. Yeah, it's a deal. The first time I entered itself, like I went there twice on the same first and second day. And I literally got goosebumps the first time I entered. Like, I don't know what it feels like to enter a club stadium and be so close to the grass, to the pitch, and to see the thought process is like, so many big players played here. They just been running on this place, and I'm so close to this place. I want to touch that. So I can't dream of something that way, but I don't know, man.
How did that happen? How did you get your name on the pyramid?
Okay, that's also a story where so I did a campaign for Gulf Oil India.
Yeah.
And so I had to create some crazy ass content for them, something that appealing for the Manchester United people, So they were like, they will take me to Old Trafford, and they will take care of all the expenses, and you can create whatever you want to do and create your content. So it'll be a paid thing from Manchester United. I legit had the invitation from Manchester United that we are inviting you to come.
Have you framed it?
I still have it. I want to frame it. Believe me, I want to frame it whenever
before you lose it.
And guess which match I had? I had the derby match tickets.
Wow.
City versus United.
The 3-2 game?
So, yeah. Yeah. No, it was 3-0.
Oh, okay.
So, it was in the home ground. It was 3-0. So that happened. And I was like, okay, this sounds great. But what are the chances of me getting into it? Like, they were like, you never know. Just try. So I made a couple of videos, and apparently United really liked it. So they were like, what, we are inviting you over this place, and you can just roam around in London for a bit, and then you can have a city. In the London city, you can just chill around for a bit, and then we take you to Manchester.
Wow.
So they got me to Manchester. So I stayed for Manchester for a day or two, and then it was a derby match. So before the match, they got me on the pitch side, where if you see the video, they got me on the pitch side, and I met few legends there and everything. So I watched the match. The next day, they invited me again. So this is like a whole different experience where I thought we are doing a stadium tour. like a very average people, how people do it, a stadium tour, people pay, they host to. But then I realized there were so many different things, and the way they treated me and other people with around me was so different. I thought this is like a very casual thing. They allowed me to go to a lot of places. They are like, oh, it's okay, you can sit here. A lot of people are not even allowed to get in. It's okay, you can do this, do that. They get me to the stadium, okay, and they're just like, okay, you can click a picture right now. And I'm just busy clicking picture, and then I realize it's the name all over the place. I was like, blew my mind. I was like, I can't believe this. I can't believe this. If I go home and tell them my name was here, nobody even gonna believe me.
Wow.
Nobody is gonna believe me. I don't believe this. I don't believe this. The first few seconds, I was like, is that real? Is that real? And the people are like, yes, that's real. That's your name. Get the pictures, do whatever you want. Just go ahead. I went all nuts. So it was like a great experience. Even when I flex to people, it's a flex. It's my flex. I can't show cars and money or anything, but this is the kind of real flex I have. That, you know what? Oh, it's cool you have a car, but do you have a name on Manchester United for? No. Shut the fuck up. So that's
I'm
kind of flex I have.
I'm jealous because I'm a diehard United fan, and it's just,
of course, coming from a United fan, you know what kind of deal that is.
Yeah.
But I don't think so. I've made a big deal out of on social media that this is something that happened.
Yeah, I mean, of course,
it's there.
Yeah, it's for you.
I'm surprised. How did you see that?
Janusz told me when he was doing some preliminary research.
Doing the research.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, cool. I was like, okay, this is nice.
So anyway, what's your schedule like? You said you don't live that athletic 5 a.m. life, but you still practice.
Right.
So what's your schedule like?
Right. So it's funny when I say it because I just live a normal life like any other guy.
Yeah.
But the kind of discipline I have for my work, I don't think so anyone can match it. Because if you ask me, Akshay, you have to wake up at 4 a.m. and you have to be present here. I'll be there at 4 a.m. no matter what. You know, you have to start rolling. You have to make a content at 6 a.m. It should be live at 8. I'll be there. You know, I try to be more professional as I can be because it's a very cool business. People won't take you seriously unless you don't show it as like very serious about it.
Definitely.
You know, kicking football and doing tricks is like a cool business. It doesn't sound like a very serious business. You know, so I think to give that kind of shape is like it's very much needed. I don't do any of these things. I go for a run, I work out and all. But I'm not very enthusiastic about doing it. I do it because once in a while if I feel, oh, I'm gaining weight, I need to be more flexible. It's been like a couple of days I haven't trained. It's not possible for me to train, but I can go and take a round for 6 kilometers, 5 kilometers and do that. So I do all these things. I eat whatever I want. I don't stop myself. It's a very basic, I think. I wouldn't say like it's a tough life to be a freestyler until you don't want to shape it.
Yeah.
If I take football freestyling as a sport, then maybe.
Yeah.
Since I take it as an art, I think it's very chill.
Yeah.
I can live my life the way I want. But I do have discipline. Like if I have to wake up tomorrow, I'll go back to sleep. I won't do anything. I won't go out. I won't be awake at night. I'll try my best. So I think
that's pretty well. So thanks a lot, Akshay. I mean, that's all I wanted to know, and I'm sure people will learn a lot from this video because I've personally you're the first freestyler I've talked to, and just sort of getting to learn about the popularity of this art/sport combination that's sort of picking up in India. It's really I'm really glad to hear that because if football freestyling becomes a big thing in the country, then it only aids the growth of football, and we need that football culture and things around the sport. So football freestyling, the entire
I think it'll grow with the balance. Grow with the balance. If there'll be 100 football players, at least there'll be 5 freestylers is what I think. So the balance is always going to be same. But thanks for having me. It was amazing to have a chit chat with you all because I always hesitate to speak about things, but since this is coming from a football app and it's all oriented with football and so it's 100% football, I was like, I want to do this. In fact, the first few videos I saw of yours, you interviewing other football players
Yeah.
and all. I was like, I want to do this. And I was very happy that when you asked me out, like, do you want to do this? I was like, I'm up for it.
No, because we're always looking for people around football to be on the show, because that's what makes
Right.
things interesting. Because
Of
I can't
course,
have
of
just
course.
one. I mean, I can have. I'll definitely have more footballers. I'll eventually, hopefully, have you again on the show. I'll have some other freestyler on the
Right.
show. So just keep churning up new content like you do. Hopefully.
Right. Right.
So that's the plan.
Then thanks for having me.
For sure,
Pleasure.
bro.
Pleasure.